You guys are both live streaming now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, who am I going to look at this morning? Kim?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Genevieve, can you go ahead and tell us the latest since this weekend? We know a 17-year-old was shot and killed. What's the latest in the search right now?
Sure. Right now, we remain very active in this investigation, and we are continuing to search for James Griffin Jr. He's 17 years old. He is considered armed and dangerous this morning, and so we are asking if he sees this or someone knows where he is, that we ask them to let him know he needs to turn himself in. We need to speak with him in regards to the shooting death of a fellow 17-year-old over the weekend.
Do we know a motive or what happened? There's been a lot of traction on social media that he posted that it was an accident and he's so sorry. What can you tell us about that?
As far as a motive is concerned and as far as why this shooting took place, that's all still under investigation. Our detectives are aware of the social media posts that have been posted by Griffin as well as other individuals in our community, and we're looking into those social media posts. But exactly what happened and the motive behind the shooting is still under investigation.
The arrest warrant is for aggravated manslaughter, not homicide. Explain why.
Well, right now the details surrounding the shooting is still under investigation. Exactly how it happened, what took place, who was involved, and that's why we need to speak with Griffin. If he's watching this, we're asking him to turn himself in. If someone knows where he is, we're asking them to speak with him, to have him turn himself in. We need to find out exactly the details of what happened that evening, and we know that he holds those details.
Can you tell us some more about the circumstances surrounding the 17-year-old's death, where he was found, where he was shot?
Sure. The 17-year-old that passed away as a result of this shooting was found in the 1700 block of Gregg Court around 12:30 in the morning on Sunday morning.
Was he in a car?
It's my understanding that he was found on Gregg Court. I'm not sure if he was outside of the car or inside a car, but there was a car that was involved in this investigation.
Here you have a 17-year-old suspect that the department has said is armed and dangerous. What are your concerns right now as far as what his behavior could be and what he could potentially do?
Well, we are concerned because we do believe that he may be in possession of a firearm, and that's why we consider him armed and dangerous, and that's why we are pleading to our community. If you know where he is or if Griffin is watching this, we're asking him to turn himself in. You know, anytime anyone in our community loses their life as a result of violence, it's concerning. What's even more concerning is this involved two 17-year-olds. It's very tragic what happened. Two families' worlds have been rocked in a matter of just a couple of days, and so it's of the utmost importance that we speak to Griffin as soon as possible.
Can you tell us anything else about Griffin's past? Have you been in trouble in the past?
I don't have much details onto the past interaction with law enforcement as far as when it comes to Griffin. However, we do believe that he was there that night, he knows what happened, and we want to speak to him.
Do we know what school he went to?
I do not have that information.
Was he on probation?
I do not know if Griffin was on probation or not.
What about the victim? Does he have a history with law enforcement?
Regarding the victim, I don't have that information, whether he had interaction with law enforcement, and we're withholding his name both at the request of the family as well as because of Florida's new Marsy's law.
What concerns the department the most about this situation, this case?
What concerns us the most is that this is two 17-year-olds that are involved in this. It's just tragic all the way around. Many of our officers, even up to our command staff, are parents themselves, and so when we hear that teenagers in our community are involved in a death of another teenager, it's just absolutely heartbreaking.
Having a 17-year-old who's running scared apparently, that's armed and dangerous, should the community be concerned?
The community should be concerned anytime some sort of senseless act of violence occurs in our community. And we do believe that folks in our community may know where Griffin is, and maybe he's seeing this himself. That's why it's of the utmost importance that we speak to him as soon as possible.
Is public safety a concern?
Anytime a shooting occurs involving two individuals and with their age, it is concerning. The public should be concerned because we believe that this 17-year-old is somewhere in our community with a firearm, and we're not sure, what might happen in the future, but we want to speak to him as soon as possible.
You mentioned you do believe he's still in town, and you do believe that he might be seeing this based on the social media posts. Is there a way to call and make sure he's turned in safely so he's not expecting, you know what I mean? Because obviously people could say that finding him could be dangerous.
Absolutely. If folks know where he is, they can give us a call. They can remain anonymous. They can call Crime Stoppers and they can remain anonymous. We're just asking folks, if you have information, to definitely let us know. Let law enforcement do what they do best and continue their investigation. You know, going back to the social media posts, you both had asked about that. Like I mentioned, we're aware of those social media posts. We know what has been said in those, whether it's accidental or not. That's all still under investigation. Really, the key part in this right now is we need to speak to Griffin. We need to know what happened that night, and we know he holds those details.
If you could give him a message, look at the camera and give Griffin a message directly.
Sure. Sarasota police officers want to speak with you, Mr. Griffin. We know that you have the information as far as what happened to this 17-year-old victim. It's a horrific instance, what happened, and we just want to speak to you to figure out exactly what happened. All right. Thanks, everybody.